What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey.
I'm your host, Chris.
About to say, brother, you taking too daggone long. And we got stuff to talk about. Well, I mean, come on now. As y'all can see on Get a Bucket, we like to have fun, talk about a little sports, but again, emphasize about having fun. So with that, our program goes as follows. We got quarter one, quarter two, three, and four. We might have a halftime show for you, but more importantly, you heard the format. You got four quarters, and each quarter we're gonna have something new to talk about. So, Chris, you ready?
Let's get it cracking.
All right, that's a bet. That's a bet. Y'all heard it here first. We're gonna go right on into quarter one. So look, we're here at quarter one, Chris. You know what I'm saying? NBA playoff updates, but on the eastern side. On the eastern side, okay? Do you believe in magic? Like, do you believe the magic, not this series, but have they shown you that, okay, they are progressing in the right direction? So next year, they could beat a team like this Cavs. Do you think they're
They are trending in the right direction, but they still a couple of pieces and like a couple of dogs away from like literally be a top five or like a top four East team in the East.
Okay, okay. When you say a couple of dogs, I just want to clarify because they got some young studs on the team already.
They do.
I think Paolo, is he a alpha? Is he a number one option for you? Is he shown that?
He's a one. He's a 1A. I'm not going to call him as a number one option, but he's a 1A option.
You mean a 1B or 1A?
1A is like he's going to be your go to factor, but he's still young.
Okay, so you think he'll be a one option?
Yes.
He's just developing. Okay,
yes.
Okay. So with that, then do they have a number two option on the team?
They do. That's the younger but the better Wagner.
Okay, Hans Wagner. Okay. So if you're telling me they need a couple dogs, then I'm gonna be interested to hear what dogs they need. But I do want to say, because we can talk about the Magic another time too.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like though they are at least heading in that right direction for you. All right, that's cool. That's cool. I kind of view Franz a smidge different. I have question marks on if he's going to be a definitive two option, right?
Mm-hmm.
Paolo, biasly, y'all know he come from good stock. Y'all see how we talk about like Paolo's actually a good player. I see Paolo being a number one option, bro. So I think they do have your one option. I do agree with you. He's young. But Franz, I think I differ on the two option. Good talent. But later on, I'm questioning if he should be your third option or not. But I do believe in the Magic, though. So I will say that, hey, come on, pal.
We both do.
Let's get a bucket. Let's get a bucket.
We both do.
All right, cool. So we got the Magic down here. Damian Lillard is for the Bucks. Is he going to be, not if, my fault, should he be the one option on the Bucks instead of Giannis? And I'm asking that, even though it's Giannis's team, Dame is the more skilled player, right? Mm-hmm. He can get you a 30 ball probably a little quicker than Giannis can because of the way that Dame scores. He can hit the three a little bit better. He's better at the free throw line. He can drive to the basket. Should Damian Lillard be the one option on the Bucks when Giannis returns?
Keyword is if Giannis returns. That's an if. But I can see Dame being that number one scorer on the team. Now, if Giannis come back, how he going to structure with Giannis coming back?
Okay.
Is his points is going to take a hit, or his points is still going to be the same?
do you think his points will dip or go up? Or stay the same?
I think it will. I think his points will be the same,
Okay.
but it's gonna take maybe like a probably like a
Few
two.
games. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So then,
take a
if
step
that
back.
if that's the case, I think you got Giannis in a good situation where you have Damian Lillard, a certified star, in the
Agreed.
game. He should be the one option, at least for me, in my opinion. But I mean, we've seen the man torch teams in the West for years. So I can only imagine he should be able to keep them afloat. But it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with
The
the Bucks.
thing is, the thing is, they know that the Bucks can be that team that could give the Celtics a run for their money.
Well, let me ask you this then, because speaking of the Celtics, have they shown enough to make you believe they're not going to be touched? Like, is this a championship team legitimately where you start to say they can beat the Nuggets too?
If they had some type of big that can challenge or slow down
Maybe.
Joker,
Porzingis can't challenge Jokic. He's not good enough for you. I'm just asking, brother. I'm just asking.
he's good, but he's not good enough.
Okay, so if you got Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, that's not going to be enough to contain Jokic because at least KP will make you guard on the defensive end. So you don't think they can tire out Jokic, make him play defense? Because now you got a pick and roll game, pick and pop game with KP and JT.
I mean, you can try to slow down. I would say like you can make him play defense all you want. It's just simple fact is can you let him be the scorer on the offensive side instead of let him be a scorer and a rebounder and a passer?
Mm.
You got it's like football. You
Yeah.
gotta pick your poison.
Well, I will say this: I think it'll be a good battle when I look at the matchup between the 2. Now Jokic does win most of those matchups,
Yes.
but it's 25 points to 21 favoring Jokic. Then you got 10 rebounds to 8 favoring KP. The assists obviously go to Jokic. You don't need to bring that up.
Not even
The
close.
steals, Jokic is winning. He's doubling KP's. But the blocks is where KP's are taking advantage, 1.5 to 0.4. So I do think on the defensive end, KP is going to make at least it be interesting for Jokic. And on the offensive end, we're seeing he's giving 21 a game. So if I can expect that out of KP with this Celtics team, I do believe they can contain Jamal Murray. I do believe they can take Michael Porter Jr. out of the rotation for real. Aaron Gordon will be interesting, but I do think this Celtics team is showing enough, especially with the bench actually performing the way they have. They're executing well enough. So that's what I'm saying. I think the Celtics are showing that they might be the actual team to beat in the NBA, not just in the East. But we'll have to see though, because there are a couple of other teams, like for example the Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers. They've had some controversial games. That series could have very easily. It started off 0-2. It very easily could have been 2-0. Could have been 1-1. Like that's a controversial series. NBA did say they came back and missed some foul calls too. If the Knicks win this series, were the 76ers robbed by the referees? Or did the Knicks actually beat them?
No. They were actually robbed.
They
was robbed.
They were robbed?
They was robbed.
Okay. Because I slightly agree. I think Embiid's injuries help out the Knicks in this regard. Maxey did get fouled. They tried to call timeout. They disregarded both. And they even came back and said there were 2 fouls on Maxey, but there were obvious fouls as well, people. So I don't know. I hate to say it's the ref's fault, right? But this might have been a case where the game 2 was lost on them. Now the 76ers did put themselves in a bad situation. It's unfortunate. And I think now, if the 76ers lose, you do have some question marks. At the beginning of the season, I said I thought the 76ers might want to trade Joel Embiid. This is a good opportune time. And now he's had another injury.
On the same knee.
You know what I'm saying? So he's got a rehab. So I'm questioning what he's going to be able to do in the offseason like that. Question how that's going to go. It's going to be an interesting time for Philly. And Joel Embiid. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that's going to be shaking up in the East. But we definitely going to be following that. But I think the buzzer just started, or just sounded. So what we can do is take a quick little break. You know what I'm saying? Coach probably want to tell us some things real quick before quarter two start back up. So, you good?
I'm good, bro.
Y'all
good. I'm good.
Y'all good? I think
they good.
So you better stop saying you're not good. Stop it. Stop playing with us. All right, we'll leave y'all alone. Come back in quarter two though in a moment. All right, give us a second.
The I'm Perfectly Made Foundation is helping individuals with low vision and blindness be able to do things that they think they are unable to do because of visual impairments. And that's where the fashion show came in. I also want to be able to provide eye screenings, eye exams, and eyeglasses to individuals that are unable to pay for that or don't have the insurance to do that. If we can help get those eyeglasses and eye screenings to little kids that parents can't afford, stuff like that, or older individuals that don't have the insurance anymore, that would be helpful. And that's what I'm Perfectly Made is trying to do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Quarter two. That's a good time. It's a good time. Y'all know what we doing. NBA updates. But on the west side, Chris, Ant-Man. He kind of went at KD a little bit in this first game, didn't he?
Yes.
And
more than enough.
And they say you don't want to meet your heroes. But in this case, he did. And he lived up to the expectation, folks. It was a quality game, that first one, right? What fell under the radar, I think, was, KD, he responded to Ant-Man. D-Book didn't. Who the best two guard?
Ant.
You just write like that. Okay.
Not even close.
I think D-Book is going to have a chance to respond.
He better.
I think next season, there's going to be a definitive statement for Ant-Man. Right now, it's still kind of a jump ball. You know what I'm saying? I think that's going to, I hear it.
I disagree.
From an archetype standpoint, you got a 6'4" guard in Ant-Man who can shoot the ball, he can defend. D-Book 6'5", and the athleticism separates the two. I think D-Book's skill plus the effort that he's given still keeps him on par with Ant. But again, it's not for long because I did tell someone maybe 2 seasons ago, it's going to be D-Book's time. No, when he went to the finals, 2021, I said it's going to be D-Book's time for 2 seasons. And then after that, it's going to be JT and them. Well, and Ant-Man is part of that and them. So, which now you might be talking about Ant-Man ahead of JT, but you say Ant-Man, what's your?
Because whoever thought the expectations if for the finals, Phoenix was higher, Minnesota was not even looked at for any type of title. Now it's split. I felt like Ant took that season, and the moment that, and honestly, he did most of the attack. Wildcat was hurt, so you came out of the very first game, and you literally torched.
But that makes him the better.
Towards the Suns.
That makes him better shooting guard though.
Yes.
All right. I mean, I don't think one game makes you the better shooting guard. But again, I'm waiting to see more time. But you definitively have Ant-Man higher than
Book.
D-Book.
Yes.
I say it's more of a battle, but it's not. I'm not mad at you for saying Ant-Man. It's just I think it's more of a battle right now. But something that, should have been more of a battle if we thinking of game ones, that Mavs series versus the Clippers. Mavs did get that tail beat. Um, and I was coming into that series saying, Mavs can win. You did as well. And before the season started, you said J Kidd was on the hot seat, and I thought it might be premature. What's your main reason for why J Kidd is on the hot or was on the hot seat, and should he still be there?
He still should be on the hot seat. Only because is you went from Milwaukee dealing with Giannis to now coming to Dallas, where you got not only you got blessed times two. You got Kyrie and Luka, and you got a good, deep, and balanced Dallas team. You should not have to went to LA and literally got absolutely waxed off the floor. Absolutely waxed off the floor. This is now where you gotta somehow, some way.
If they lose the series though,
He should
I
be
don't-
fired.
But fired is crazy. If they lose the series in 7, would you still fire Jason Kidd?
Depends on what type of
If they lose,
seven.
if they lose in 7, like you mean tell me even if he loses in Game 7, there's a world where you fire Jason Kidd?
No.
I mean, you just said it depends on the time.
Like I say, it depends on what type of 7-game series is. If it's a close 7-game series, no, he should not be fired. But if it's a waxing up a 7-game series, yes, he should. Yes, he should have to go.
I mean, you can lose badly in a Game 7 and still keep your job. I think. Like I've seen it happen. Even though he's no Phil Jackson, I do believe you lose a 7-game series, you should be able to fight for your job the next year. Like and they went to the Western Conference recently. They played well before. Like last year, yeah, you struggled. You didn't get to the playoff. You kind of just got that team, and that team wasn't the best constructed at least. So I think they're in the right direction. I would give him a little bit more time as opposed to dropping him this season. But you've been a little harder on him than I have, so I at least appreciate you from the consistency standpoint. That's J Kidd. I don't know, though. I've been.
You
trying
still
to
my
find
dog.
you, but
You still one of my favorite.
I don't know about
You're
that.
still one of my favorite
I don't know about
PGs
that, but-
of all time. Look,
Well, I mean, we ain't gotta talk about him more. We ain't gotta talk about him no more because he done heard you fire him. I'm curious what you about to say about this thing because this was kind of another topic of yours. Do the Pels need Zion in order to beat a team like OKC? And when we say a team like OKC, ladies and gentlemen, we basically mean, well, a young team that still is inexperienced, right, but very talented. So should the Pels, who have a good amount of experience and good amount of talent, do they need Zion to beat this sort of team?
yes.
Okay, why? What's the main reason for you?
The main reason is not one person on OKC cannot touch Zion. I'm talking about from the starting 5 into the bench.
I hear that. I think the Pels have enough talent and depth to beat OKC without Zion.
They do.
I think BI can give you 25 a game. I think CJ can give you between 15 to 20. Where the X factor is going to be is players like Herbert Jones, Trey Murphy. Can they give you consistent play? Which I think Trey can. Herbert's going to be interesting because he's more of a defensive player. I think his offense is going to come later on in his career. But I do believe the Pels have enough to beat OKC. And shout out to Lil Jose too, because that mug be hooping, playing his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're just a lovable team, bro. I swear to you. Like, but OKC as well too. Young team, good talent.
Good stock.
They can very easily win this in 5 games. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised if it's a sweep. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like even though Shea's a bad boy, they still inexperienced. That's my thing. The inexperience I think is gonna hit them at some point in time. But Zion, yeah, he would have been helpful. I just don't think they need him for this one. But I don't think they need him for a team like OKC in this situation. But you know, time tells. Time tells. Now speaking of time, dog, right? Game two, we were down 0-2 to the Nuggets, and that's now 0-10 to the Nuggets. Right in that moment, if we get swept, do you trade Braun? Yes or no?
Bron got to go.
All right. Do you trade Anthony Davis?
Hell yes.
That's tough. At that point in time, then is it rebuild or is it?
You got to rebuild. I don't care. Rebuild. Will too. Call up Jesus and his disciples. Something has to change in LA. Something has to change.
Why not bring? Why not for you? Why not bring? Because I agree something has to change, but I don't think it's trade AD. I think you have to trade Braun, even though Braun's been productive. I think he's the piece that we need to move in order to push AD into that leadership role. But he can also still be our second option. We can find a one option that can replace the scoring of Braun. So we can get playmaking. So I do think Braun is the piece to go because like it feels like a lot of stuff's around him. But that's interesting. Why not try to run it back for you and maybe bring in Dwight Howard or someone like that? Because that he seems to be the Jokic stopper, right? Dwight Howard seems to be the Jokic stopper. Could one more run be good enough for you?
You got to blow it up, bro.
So it has to be blown up.
You got to blow it up.
So then, if you're gonna blow it up, have you thought of a player that we should look to trade for to get Braun? I don't know who we even can get realistically in a Braun trade right now. Like where would he go to a team? Like which team would he go? Who would want like what pieces? Like that's a lot right there. Do you have that on mind right now?
I don't.
All right, that's cool. We don't have to talk about that then. Again, next time when we come up, we definitely will try to have a trade package for LeBron James. You might have to do Anthony Davis as well too, because you said AD, I said keep AD. That's tough though. Like again, it's demoralizing losing to the same player, but it also feels like we're close as well too. So it's kind of like when teams are in that purgatory mode, and as Laker fans we're spoiled. So I hate being in the purgatory. It sucks. I would like to be in the championship realm, but I do think we could run it back one more year if we get someone like Dwight Howard to help out and put AD at the power forward slot. But that's going to have to make us readjust some things too as well. But I think that's doable. So, I mean, Lakers, y'all got some things to work on. Because, I mean, management top down.
It's not the best.
Well, no, I'm saying people need to get readjusted, long story short. But the buzzer just sounded, Chris. The buzzer just sounded.
It did.
So what we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, is take a quick little hiatus because it's halftime. You know what I'm saying? We'll come back though. Quarter three about to pop off. Still got some more sports stuff to talk about. So we'll be right back.
Hooping is an activity that can be enjoyed by all. It's a team game about getting and stopping buckets. Everyone's always rushing to the goal. Well, make sure to rush and watch Team Gold Rush, one of the best teams in the Special Olympics of Virginia. Team Gold Rush even has former NBA All-Star participants on the team. Clearly, they've struck gold. Ready to suit up and practice? I know. We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Practice still makes perfect. So when the opponent starts hitting their shots, Team Gold Rush can bounce back due to their training. Remember, offense sells tickets and defense wins championships. Watch us get a bucket and rush for the gold. We aim to be that gold standard. So want a team where you can win and have fun? Team Gold Rush is your number one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Look, we're at quarter three, bro. All right. Now, I know at the halftime, y'all heard what we was talking about. We got to shift it a little bit, though. High school McDonald's All-Americans, right? Top 5 focal points for you. The top 5 players that we are going to be focusing on next season. That means when they in college. Chris, I'm going to let you kick it off, bro.
All right, mine says Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, Dwayne Harris, Ian Jackson, and my African brother that's going to Duke.
African brother that's going to Duke, but you don't know his name. It's crazy, disrespectful. I mean, he come from good stock. Shout out to shout out to Cayman Malik. You know what I'm saying? That's very disrespectful how you did Duke right there. But you want to give Cooper Flag some love. All right, my top 5 players are as follows. We got here Cooper Flag out of Duke, Derek Queen going to UMD, that's Maryland, Dylan Harper out of Rutgers, Ace Bailey, you might know him as Arias, but he's going to Rutgers as well, and then Trey Johnson going to Texas, and I had an honorable mention as well, Ian Jackson going to whatever. Now, here's my thing.
Okay.
No problem. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. So I see here we both got Cooper and Ace and Dylan Harper on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Is there one you're most excited for or no?
The one that I'm most excited for is Harris. Because
Wait. I meant out of Cooper,
oh
Harper, and Bailey. Which one are you most excited to watch? Because Cooper's number 1, Ace was number 2, and Dylan's top 10 player, if I'm not mistaken. So
Ace.
Okay.
Ace.
Why Ace over the number 1 player?
Because Cooper got all of the love and all the swag like all year long.
Okay.
Ace, he's a dog. He is a dog. And going to Rutgers, who has a big basketball program, but it's not as big as Duke. And you got not only the number 2 player, but also another top 10 player that's going to Rutgers as well. They is going to be on some nationalized television games.
So you want to see, but I mean, so is Duke as well too. So what's the main reason why you want to see Ace over Cooper? Because it sounded like, I guess Cooper got love from everybody else, so you just want to show love to Ace.
Yeah.
You expect? All right. Because see, my thing is, even though Cooper's coming to my team, I actually am curious about Dylan Harper. I'm curious what he can be as an NBA prospect. 6'5". His dad too was pretty good as well, so he has good genes, come from good stock. I think the man could be pretty solid in the NBA. And I'm curious where that solid would land. Would it be all-star round? Like, I could see that. So again, Dylan Harper is mine because I know what Cooper Flag can be. I know what Ace Bailey can be. I'm expecting Ace to do X, Y, and Z. He might slip though. He's a freshman. Same with Cooper. Same with Dylan. But I'm curious what Dylan's going to be because at that McDonald's high school All-American game, that man stood out. Not Cooper, even though Cooper stood out, but that man stood out to me the most. So that's why I say Dylan Harper personally. So Dylan, 1, if you want to get me some tickets, bro, I ain't mad at you. And then 2, go out there and get you a bucket right quick. Now, you said here, you mentioned Darren Harris. You said, what about Harris were you trying to say? Because it sounded like you said you were most interested in watching him.
Yes, I am.
Interesting. Why?
Because if you didn't know, he went to Paulson High School.
Okay.
And I saw him play numerous times. Is he on the same level as Coop? Absolutely not. But He does remind me of a young Jason Tatum at Duke.
You think
Meaning
he?
Meaning is he got the package from mid range, 2 points, and from three.
Okay.
He's a slasher. He can play make. He can play the 2 to 3 or sometimes 4. And he's a little bit bulky.
That's interesting. Okay. Cause see, I looked at like Darren Cool. I need to like look.
Look more into
I want to see specifically about his intangibles, right? I liked Trey Johnson, although he does have a good name. Shout out to Trey. When I saw him at that McDonald's high school game, 6 threes, bro. Like that's solid. I want to see if he can be consistent at Texas. That's going to be solid for them. Because now you could. I think he has a case to be in the lottery next year if he plays that well. If he comes off as a premier shooter at 6'6" and you show some defensive tenacity, everybody's trying to look for the next Klay Thompson. So you could definitely make that a situation. And then Texas, as a well-established program as it is, you could put them back on the map a little bit, like get them a little bit more relevancy. I think that could happen. I think that could work out.
Honestly, I'm with you on that. When you said Texas is a well-known program, they always been a well basketball program. But for them to literally get a sniper like him,
yeah, that would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
Yeah,
and that would be crazy.
Now you ended up switching one of your players. I'm gonna call you out on it. Because you wanted to sit up there and be biased. He always be biased, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to his boys, I swear. But you wanted to sit up there and talk about Ian Jackson. Look, as I grab my basketball, right? You wanted to talk about Ian Jackson on yours. What about Ian for you are you most excited to see?
I want to see his game translate to the North Carolina up-tempo offense.
Describe his game in like 10 seconds.
Athlete, bouncy, can handle, rebounder, a pure bucket getter.
So he's not a shooter. He's more of an athletic slasher.
Yes.
Okay, but I didn't hear playmaker either. So I'm curious then how he'll fit onto UNC's team next year. Because they got Elliot Cadeau, so he got the playmaking covered. And you got R.J. Davis as the scorer, right? I mean, I don't get how they keep bringing this senior citizen professional college player back.
It's okay.
It is what it is, I guess. But you got that coming back. He's definitely coming off the bench because it's not like he's that tall. So, and when I saw him play, he was very scrawny. So he kept attacking. But my thing is the basketball IQ on the college level. I am curious how that will translate because obviously he's going to get better, but he seemed too wild, and he was given the green light. So for me, I think that's his play style. When you get to UNC, you got to adjust too because you're not going to be that guy. So I agree with you. I'm curious how his game will adjust to UNC because again, IQ wise, I don't think he's passing Cadeau or RJ Davis. So now, what's your role on this team? Which you said a certified bucket getter. If he turns out being nice, it'd be interesting because you can't play them 3 guards like that. I mean, he got to be nice for you to have them 3 on the floor because they're gonna get out rebounded every time. But I think those are solid ones. I gotta say this though, Derek Queen. I think folks really need to pay a good attention to Derek Queen, bro.
Yes.
This man is I think about 6'9", 6'10", and he's stocky, a good center, and he's going to Maryland. Ladies and gentlemen, this boy could be lottery material next year too. I'm not even joking. From what I saw, he has good feel for the game, good touch, and again, 6'10" and stocky. Can't be mad at that. So I really wholeheartedly look forward to seeing this man. And in fact, I know I said Dylan Harper's I have him higher on my list, right, in terms of watching. If I would have to say a number 2 freshman, it would be Derek Queen because Derek Queen looked that good. Like Coop, Coop looked like, all right, I can take over when I want to, but I'm gonna sit back and let the other boys get a feel for the game, and then make his moves. And I appreciated that. I do want to see a little bit more aggression out of Coop, but again, I think he's been hyped up so much, so we already know what he's going to be, or at least we have a high expectation. I just want the boy to play well and give me like if you can replicate what Zion did on the offensive end, meaning like 20 points a game plus, that's cool. Like Zion and RJ, that'd be solid. That's gonna be needed. We lost a lot of people. But someone like Derek Queen, I think people are gonna talk about him by the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I look forward to seeing that. But Ian Jackson was on my honorable mention, so I do know that.
And one thing about Queen, he stay home.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good point. Good point.
He's a big boy kid. All he got, he just went down to College Park. And honestly, that was a big pickup for him.
It was, but I'm curious too for his development because if
That's
he stays
true,
home,
That's true.
might
too.
be too complacent sometimes because you're around your boys or you're around a similar environment that you've been around. So I want him to work on his body and get ready for the NFL. I mean the NBA. Oh my God, because I know that he needs to work on his body so that he can be better prepared for the NBA. You can have all the skill in the world, but if you can't move them puppies, it's a little problematic. If you can't deal with them big boys, it's a little tough. So, but I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Next season about to be good.
Oh
Next
yeah.
season about to, Rutgers look a little straight. Matter of fact, I was about to say, I was about to talk about some more stuff, but the buzzer just daggone ended. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got to take a break now, but we'll be back momentarily with the final quarter. Quarter four, you know what I'm talking about? Let's go ahead and get on and do it.
Sports is one of the few things that genuinely connects us together. Whether with coworkers, friends, family, we all love the entertainment. Well, here on Get a Bucket, my goal is to talk about sports and its cultural impact. The WNBA, for example. The WNBA is loads of entertainment, from the new rookies battling, displaying their skill sets, and preparing to take the league by storm, to the Titans and the MVPs of the league clashing for battles we'll always remember. From imagining the soon-to-be possibilities, to admiring and treasuring the finales. Get a Bucket is a platform where other sports analysts, hoopers, coaches, and fans of the show come and talk about the WNBA, both negatives and positives. So if you haven't, take a quick peek. At the very least, you'll have a good time. Remember, sports is one of the few things that genuinely connects us together. So please, tune in and stay connected.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Listen, we got to talk about. Do we need to talk about? I feel like we should. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and do it.
Go ahead.
It's the Olympics. We got to talk about the Olympics. Now, I'm going to read off here the 12 names roster-wise. And then from there, we're going to have a couple of questions to talk about. But you ready?
I'm ready, bro.
So the 12 names that made it, right? We're going to go point guard to center. That's point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. Steph Curry, Drew Holiday, Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, Joel Embiid. Those 12 players should be able to beat Jesus and his 12 disciples. Like, that should be a really good roster. Who would you want to replace Embiid for? Because my thing is, if you're going to be injured in the playoffs like that too, I do think you might want to, although play for the gold, you also want to get some more hardware next year too in the season before that, after that, the season after that. Should we get a replacement for Joel Embiid? And who would that be for you, if so?
I would say yes for a replacement.
Okay. Who you got name-wise?
I don't want to be biased. I really don't want to be biased. But I would have to say Draymond. I would have to say Draymond. Because he's the only legit, quote unquote, USA big we got. If I'm wrong, then cool. But like,
So you're not. I would just say for all of that,
we can't use Cat,
no, we can't use Cat.
can't use Rudy,
Can't use Rudy.
we can't use Zach Reed because he's a Canadian.
I mean, I wasn't gonna go Zach route. What Walker doing? We could bring Kessler. He was on the FIBA team. Give us
Yeah,
light.
you're right.
Or maybe a Jaren Jackson Jr.
But I mean, dude, he really want to get body in the paint again.
Well, I think you're playing. It's either you get body. You're either bodying Jaren and AD helps, or you're bodying AD and Jaren helps. I think that could be something to do.
That's true.
So I mean, but I will say losing Embiid does kind of hurt a little bit.
It did.
It does kind of hurt a little bit if we can't bring him on board. But having someone like Bam there as well, I think Bam can do the banging with this team. I think Bam and Braun, they're stockiest. Aaron Gordon, that could be something interesting. Maybe. But all right, so Embiid, kind of critical. It'd be nice if you stayed healthy and play, but you know, 76ers need you more. If Jokic were to beat Team USA, don't that sound a little crazy? But it's possible because he done beat our boys. Terrible. My fault. My bad. I'm getting on my soapbox. If Jokic beats Team USA, would he be the greatest international player of all time?
I want to say all time, but that is a damn good resume. That's a damn good resume.
I mean, not a lot of players can say that they beat, and I'm assuming Jokic does not have an all NBA caliber team. Not a lot of players can say that they beat an all NBA caliber team. You had Steph Curry, Drew Holiday, Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, and potentially Joel Embiid or replacement. You beat that team. I think this man might end up being the greatest international player, potentially on the way to the GOAT discussion off that. Because if you beat this, I can only imagine what you're about to do in the NBA. Because you got more help.
And the craziest thing, though, you was absolutely right. I mean, we see big men. We see big men come into the league and dominate the game in so many factions. We've never seen this before in our lives. Like a 6'10" center with no type of athleticism on the god of this earth can handle, rebound, and score. If he literally beat this team,
It's tough.
it's tough.
Yeah, that's tough. Now, flip this, though. Not on Jokic winning, but this USA team, which they've been called the Avengers, apparently. But let's say the Avengers lose. What's the legacy impact for players like LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant? Because they've had well-decorated careers. Does this negatively impact them where it's like you can bring this up later on in conversations for real, do you think? Or folks just gonna brush it to the side like how we treated Team USA when they had Timmy and them?
When we had Timmy and them, that was a dysfunctional team from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. So because of the cohesion, you think it'll stay
I
in
think
place?
this team will catch more hell than we give any USA team we had. Because, like you said, bro, that's pretty much four first ballot Hall of Famers on one USA team. That's four.
it would be tough to lose that. I ain't gonna lie to you. Um, so they get scrutinized heavily. We got to think then, why would they lose? Would it be because of ego? Like maybe they passing the ball too much. They don't want to step on each other's toes. Is this a scenario where maybe somebody's going to get too selfish in a sense? Like who takes the final shot? Like who's that star? Is it going to be KD, Steph, Ant-Man? Like Ant-Man would want to. There's a bunch of talent up here. So when we think cohesion, yeah, we know them boys do play well. It's a different season. Braun, this is your last run.
Even though
How you want to go out?
even though this is Steph's first run at it, this is Book's second run at it, or whatever. If I'm Team USA, who do I want to take the last shot? I'm still anybody but Steph. I say that anybody but Steph.
Wait, the person. So you're saying Steph Curry should not take the last
No,
shot?
no, I say
Oh, you're saying if you're defending us.
yes.
So you think Steph Curry should be the final shot taker for us?
either Steph, KD, or Tatum.
Okay. Anybody? So those three are the shot takers for you. I like Curry, KD, or JT. JT could no, he should be fine. He should be good enough. Yeah, I like those. I can land with those because they're the better scorers on this team. Although you could say Ant-Man as well, which also asks me. Which also goes to my next question: should or will we ever see Anthony Edwards starting on this team? Because the only reason why I'm saying this: point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. We are in a world of positionless basketball, right? Can we see, if we're going shooting guards, Ant-Man eclipse D-Book, which you said earlier, yes, you do. And now we got to talk about Curry, Ant-Man, Braun, KD, and maybe Embiid or AD or somebody like that. Can Anthony Edwards secure himself a starting spot for you?
I would say this. He can. He can. But you'll have to bust Book's ass in practice.
Well, I think he did that, but in the playoffs too for game one, so it's at least doable.
It's doable.
But I do agree. I think he can defend D-Book better than D-Book can guard him, and I think he can score just as well. So I think it is a world where we might be talking about Anthony Edwards as a starter for Team USA. But I mean, we'll have to
see.
Yeah, because that's a little interesting one. But the buzzer just sounded. So I mean, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, it's all the time we got. Quarter four ended. You know what I'm saying? Good game though. Good game. You got anything you want to say for the close up shot?
Absolutely not, sir.
All right, that's a bet. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad that you listened to us. Hopefully you gave us some comments as well below throughout the episode. But please like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone about the show. This is Chris. My name is Trey. We're the hosts of Get a Bucket. Hope you all have a good one. Take care.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.